Hey guys, so I've been snowed in out at my family's house for about 2 days, so I figured I'd do a little update. I'm officially down 37 pounds, um, and my mom and I had a really long talk a couple days ago, and it was about body dysmorphia. Um, I, well, we were talking about how some people that are in a have an eating disorder, how they see themselves huge, or how you focus on one flaw in your um, on your body, and you don't, and it's not there, it's non-existent, no one else can see it but you. And so we were talking about it, and we had a long talk about how I never saw myself as big. um, I grew up in a house with no chips, no cookies, no. My mom always cooked very healthy. Um, I, like I remember specifically, she asked if I ever remembered her telling me to go on a diet, and I said yes. I remember a lot of that. But my mom was also always on a diet, and we were talking about how she asked if what I remembered, and I said, well, I remember one time we were at a little get together and I had a chip in my hand and you slapped it out of my hand. And she was like, I don't remember that at all. And I was like, oh, I don't have a great memory, but I do remember that. And um, I said, and we kind of kept talking about it, and she said something awesome. And she was like, maybe that's why you never thought about what you were eating, because you never saw yourself as big. I said, I never did. I saw myself as the same size as my friends. I mean, my pant size was bigger, yeah, but I never thought I was twice their size. That never occurred to me. I was still a cheerleader. I still did all that. So it never crossed my mind. And it's crazy that, when I moved out on my own, I got to try cookies and stuff like that. My ex fiance bought, bags of frozen French fries. That was his favorite dinner. And it blew my mind because I had never bought French fries before, like ever. The only time I've bought them was when I was with him. And um, I've never felt out of place. I've never done all the sad, like, I've never been sad about myself until recently, until the past 3 years. And I've been the biggest I've ever been. And now I'm working my ass off to get it better. And um, I've never had unhealthy eating habits. Mom and I were talking about how she thought food was a comfort for me. I said, no, booze are a comfort for me. I'm an alcoholic. I mean, if I was upset, I went and grabbed a bottle of wine. I didn't go grab a fucking hamburger. Like, that's not what I was about. I'd rather go have drinks with friends. Oh, there's Cooter. I wouldn't eat to comfort myself. And that's also an issue that I'm dealing with at the moment. But um, I never ate for comfort. It's weird, but I just ate a lot of food. It was never unhealthy. I mean, yeah, of course, everyone has unhealthy dinners, but I never, eating unhealthy wasn't a constant in my life. I mean, I'm the girl who has quinoa, brown rice. I've never bought a loaf of white fucking bread until, I don't know, like on the day after Thanksgiving, soft white bread for Thanksgiving sandwiches the next day. And until recently, when I knew bread might not be in my diet after surgery, because some people can't tolerate it whatsoever. So I've never bought white bread. Like, white rice until recently, I haven't bought white rice. I always buy brown rice. All of my pasta is whole wheat pasta. I do not have, like, my diet has never been a bad diet. It's just it's been the quantity of food I've eaten. So, yeah, one portion would have been great, but three's better. So, I I'm slowly coming to realize with things like that. I talked to Dr. Keith's office, the bariatric guy I want to talk to in Norman, And I have to send my operation report and stuff like that to him to and he has to accept me since I had my surgery done in another country. He has to accept me and make sure that he wants to take my case on because let's be honest, I'm a fucking headache. So but we just mom and I had a long talk about it, and we it's crazy because so many people I've read on forums and stuff, like especially on the pre-op diet when they were talking about how they cheated. Um, the they'd say, "Oh well, today I cheated with a pizza pocket. Yesterday I cheated with a Wendy's hamburger." My cheats on my pre-op diet were Brussels sprouts, cottage cheese, and green beans. Like, I it's the only time I really, really eat fast food is when I was hammered at 3 in the morning and I wanted some damn McDonald's. But other than that, I'm not, it's, it's just crazy to me, like how other people's, uh, diets are compared to mine. And I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone or anything like that, because obviously I got here somehow. But it's just, I'm appreciating the way my mom raised me around food. She raised me, you bake your fish, you don't fry your fish. My grandma, for example, can't cook to save her life. She was like, well, I made some fish the other night, but I didn't have cornmeal, so I only used flour. And I was like, Granny, you're trying to eat better. Why'd you fry fish? She said, well, I used olive oil. Well, it doesn't matter if you use olive oil. You still fucking fried the fish. Like, throw it in the oven, bake it. I've never fried anything in my life except for chicken fried steak for my stepdad's birthday every year. Like, I, I don't fry. The only time we've ever had a fryer is when I was engaged to my ex-fiance, and he liked his french fries in a fry daddy. And I almost burned the house down almost every time I used it. But it's slowly realizing that my diet isn't that bad. And now that I physically have to have portion control, it's not like I can just eat until I'm like, oh, I'm stuffed, I'm going to stop now. It's, oh, guess what? Your stomach's going to rip open. That's the only thing I can think of is, shit, I'm going to pop a staple and I'm going to have a bunch of food floating around in my body or something. Like, it freaks me out so much that I'm so strict with my portions. So, I don't know. That was just something that mom and I were talking about, and it just like hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm still having a few bad days. I'm still pretty down and out, but I actually got up. I'm gonna go get a blowout on my hair in about an hour. So, um, I'm trying to feel better. I'm trying my hardest. I don't know what's going on. It's just a bad week. It's just a bump in the road, and I'll be better. I always get better. So, um, and now that I have a small support group, like of my friends, that I've pretty much said, listen, this is probably going to gross you out, but I need to vent. They've kind of accepted it. I'm still not having a great time with mashed potatoes. Their mashed sweet potatoes went fine. Mashed potatoes felt like a ton of bricks in my stomach, and I even watered them down with milk. So I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm just going to have to exclude that from my diet. I've tried twice in 2 weeks, and they just aren't working. So the night before last, I watched the Thunder game at a little brewery with my mom, and they had the best French onion soup in the world. And I had the French onion soup with no bread. It still had the cheese on it, which next time I'm going to order it with no cheese. And it is stock full of onions. So next time I'm going to ask for more broth than onions. But the flavor was fantastic. So it was cool that I still got to go out and eat. And, I just ordered a water and we just sat there and talked the whole time. One of my girlfriends came with me I hadn't seen in a while, and we just sat and hung out, which was nice. But, holy shit, I'm almost at 10 minutes. So I'm going to get off here before I hit the 10-minute mark. Sorry it's so long. Sorry it's a vent, but it's something I realized about myself, and I figured that I need to include that in the blog. So I hope everyone's having a great day, and hopefully it's not gross and snowy like it is here still. Bye.